when you do things up front with the class, I like to record you guys too. More than anything, it's just a fun thing for me to do. I think it's a lot of fun. I can go back now about 3 years, and I can see my students that are, some of them are in university, but I had one guy, he started with me in 101, actually 100. He spoke 0 English. Yeah, like literally nothing. He got off the plane and, you know, he just spoke Arabic. And I had him in 100, and then a year later I had him in 12. And he was giving, like, he was arguing and debating in master's class. It was amazing. So it was kind of fun. I got him in both levels. Anyway, I do it for fun. Listen, if it makes you uncomfortable to be recorded, just tell me. We don't have to record you, okay? Or if I accidentally record you and you see something pop up on my YouTube channel, just tell me and I'll delete the video, okay? It's not a big deal. Shut the door. If you want to subscribe, and everybody should. My YouTube channel is ESL Connexus. And again, I'll be posting primarily the grammar. Anything we go over, if you want to use it to review, you can. I also like to put videos to other teachers that are better than me on my playlist. So I'm going to title our playlist for this class. If you want to find it easily, just go to ESL Connexus, and I'm going to label it S5 Session 5, 2015, and I'm going to call it SSP 107-8. All right. I will send a link to it to you on Ngrade, okay? If you're new here at ELS, I would write these down, okay? Maybe put it in the front of your book or on one of these papers. We use a grading system here called Ngrade, and I try to post your grades as quickly as I can so that you can follow your progress. It's an online system. Listen, I have to put the student database into Ngrade each month, so that usually happens by the end of the first week. So don't worry about, the classes won't be on Ngrade until probably the end of this week, okay? So don't worry about this, I just want you to know that it's there. I'm going to give you, if you're new, a username and a password so that you can log in, okay? Are you the only one new? Are you new? You're new, right? No. Is this your first month?
No.
How did I miss you? You've been here 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Use your same. Anybody? No one's new. I've seen you before too. I've just never had you, and I've never had you before. I think I've had everybody else. Okay. So we'll use Ngrade. Just log in like you normally do. Give me about a week. Okay. I also put Wordsmith up here real quick, just because it's my favorite. Way for you guys to learn vocabulary. If I were you, and we'll talk about this a little bit more, I would take the words from each unit that you don't know, and I would create your own word list in wordsmith.net, okay? There's a really cool feature on wordsmith.net. If you got to create a free account, okay? I'm going to send you a link to Wordsmith that will allow you to create a list of up to 50 words, okay? If you log in right now, it'll only let you have a list of 12 words, and then you got to keep creating new lists, which isn't terrible, but I got permission from the owner of the website to let you guys create a list of 50 words. The nice thing about this, it gives you all the word forms, it gives you the part of speech, it gives you a definition. It gives you a lot more information than Quizlet does, okay? I also put Quizlet up here. I have the words from the back of the book in Quizlet already, okay? I believe. I'll double check. But it's just a word and a definition on Quizlet. That's all it is. So between the two of these, I think that you'll be, if you work at it and put the words in yourself into Wordsmith, you'll be good to go on the vocabulary. Okay? Alright, hey listen, before we do anything else, let me introduce myself. I am Teacher Josh, and I've been teaching at ELS for about 5 years. and I like it very much, mostly because I like you guys, and I learn interesting things about interesting places. Today I met the first person I've ever met from Mauritania. Really, it's cool, huh? I've learned so many things about Saudi Arabia, a country that I only waved at while I lived in the Middle East for 4.5 years. I drove to Aqaba, and which is in Jordan, and I waved at the border of Saudi Arabia. That's close. But now I can actually shake a Saudi's hand. Pretty cool, huh? I've also met people from Asia. You're from China, right? So I've met, I learned all about feng shui. Feng shui? From, you know Kunlin? Kunlin? He's a Chinese student here. You know who he is? He was our feng shui expert in 109 last month. He taught us all kinds of interesting stuff about feng shui that you'll learn about in 109. Everybody else, we got China, we got everybody else from Saudi Arabia. I have to ask.
Yeah.
Sometimes I assume everybody's from Saudi Arabia only to find out there's someone from the UAE or something like that. Okay, cool. All right, so listen, a little bit more about myself. I know I don't look African, but I actually grew up in Togo, West Africa. Do you guys know where Togo is?
Yeah, Togo.
Everybody knows? Do you know where Togo is? All right, here's Africa. Well, here's Africa. There's Africa. Oh, it's right here. So listen, Togo, you can barely see it. Okay, it's a little country right here, and it's between Benin on the right and Ghana on the left. There's about 4 million people that live there. Where's Mauritius, by the way? Where is Mauritius? Mauritania. Mauritania. Where's Mauritania? What do you think it is?
French.
I bet you know. Do you know?
French.
Yeah, it's French.
Yeah.
It was run by the French right after World War II, and then it gained its independence. So everybody speaks French.
Most Africans speak French.
A lot of them do.
Yeah.
You'd be surprised though. Some of them. You guys been to South Africa?
No.
Interesting place. They speak Afrikaans, which is an old form of Dutch. Anyway, interesting, cool place. Love Africa. So I was there for about 10 years. I went when I was in kindergarten, and I left when I was in high school, came back to the States, and I went to college in Florida. And I know it's hard to believe, but I was going to be, I wanted to be a pastor and a teacher of religion.
Yeah.
So I went to 4 years of undergraduate, and I got a Bachelor of Arts degree in theology, which is the study of God. And I got a minor in history. When I finished that, I went back to Africa for a little bit and taught in a seminary for just a short time. My parents were still there. I came back and I decided to get a master's in religion. So I went to, you guys know where Tennessee is?
Yeah.
Tennessee is just south of here, right?
Yeah.
So I went to Chattanooga, Tennessee, beautiful city, by the way. You should go visit. And I got a Master's of Divinity, which is a master's that a pastor would get or a teacher in a religious school. While I was there, I was 26 years old, and I still didn't have a wife. I got very religious, very quick. I started praying every night. Dear Lord, give me a wife. And I called my mom on the phone. I said, Mom, yeah, we do that too in America. Mom!
Really?
Yes! Mom, help me! I said, how do I know? How do I know? I said, I keep thinking I meet the right girl, but she's never the right girl. You know what she said? She said, Josh, don't worry. When you meet the right one, you'll know. I said, that's it? That's all you have for me? She said, just pray. Just pray. God will bring you the right. You know what? She was right. She was right. Literally, a few days later, I went in to sign up for classes my last semester, and the lady at the desk said, have you met Nanette? Beep, beep, my ears went beep, 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 beep. Because there's only like 5 girls at the religious school, right? And they were all over 50, right? So she said Nanette. I thought, oh, that's good, it's a girl. And then I turned around and there was the most beautiful girl I'd ever seen. And I promise you, my mom was right. I looked at her across the room. I had never even met her. And something inside me said, you're going to marry that girl.
Yeah.
Not kidding. I walked across the room and I introduced myself. And I asked her later on after. I said, you saw me.
Yeah.
Did you know? Did you know I was going to be the one? You know what she said?
Yeah.
No. Matter of fact, so apparently God was speaking to me. Anyway, so I got to know her. We got married, and I moved up to Michigan for a while. I worked there for about a year as a quality manager at a company in Michigan. While I was there, second war in Iraq happened. I worked with an Iraqi guy, became great friends with him. I ended up taking a humanitarian aid trip to Iraq, took medicine, we took a couple doctors, and I went to Iraq for like 2 weeks.
Wow.
Went through Jordan. I enjoyed the Middle East so much, I called my wife and said, let's come back. So we did. A year later, 2005, we're living in Jordan, and I was learning Arabic. Don't tell anyone I'm a terrible language learner.
Yeah.
I had to take level 100 twice. And my wife was better. I see some of you guys with your spouses, here at school. And it reminds me of me sitting with my wife trying to learn Arabic. Anyway, we were there 4.5 years. I started an English school with the Ministry of Social Development in Jordan. And we taught English for about 2 years. We had about 70 students that were enrolled at the school there. While I was there, I loved teaching English so much, I got my certification to teach English while I was in Jordan. Came back 4.5 years later, 2010, and I heard about ELS. I came down and interviewed for a job, and here I am. And I'm currently working on my master's in teaching English as a second language. Right now I'm on my third to last class, so 2 more to go after this. I should be done by the end of this year. So that's good. So listen, let's do this. I know you guys know each other, maybe some of you know each other, but maybe not everybody. So here's what we'll do. Give us your name, okay? Actually, let's do this. This will be interesting. I want you to get together in little groups, okay? Okay, so get together in groups. Find out what you can about the other guy in your group, okay? And then I want you to introduce the other person to the class in a minute. Okay? So you really got to get to know them a little bit. Find out their name. Why are they learning English? Maybe something interesting about them. Maybe they have a fun hobby or something interesting they like to do. And then maybe tell us something about their future. What are they going to do in the future?
Okay.
All right. So talk for about 5 minutes. Objective on the board. The objective just means the goal for the class. Another way to say it, students will be able to. My desire is for you to be able to do these things by the time you leave, or understand these things by the time you leave today. So, know the expectations for the class. So, what's coming, right? We'll look at the OEC. How do you get a good grade? Also, know something about your classmates, which we just did. You guys kind of learned about each other. By the way, can anybody name everyone in here? Yeah, let's do it.
Iyad, Riyad, Badr, Hamoud.
Whoa!
Iyad,
Hold
Riyad?
on, you got Iyad. What did you call this guy?
Riyad.
No.
Sorry, okay, next chance. Here.
What?
Fadila. Nian.
Say her name again.
Fadila.
Fadila, okay.
Nian. Iyad.
دائما ننسى.
Badr.
Bud.
Hamoud. Sultan. Nasser. Sheikh Ismail.
We got a winner. and you forgot, what's your name?
D.
D. D for donut. With chocolate on top. All right. Good job. All right, and then the other thing we're going to talk about is just the school rules, really my rules in the class. Okay, I don't have a lot of rules. We'll talk about those in a minute. And then be familiar with the textbook. So what are we going to talk about? Where can you find things in the book? We're gonna start by talking about the OEC. So everybody take out the paper that looks like. Let me find it here. All right, so everybody should have a paper that looks just like this, okay?
I don't have it.
You don't. Here, have one. There you go. All right. So, first of all, listen. This is, by the way, this is a 107-108 class combined, okay? They do that when we get too many students in one level, okay? So they divide it up. It's not a big deal, okay? What will happen is we'll take the 107s, will be studying the 108 book this month, okay? And then they'll end up going back and studying the 107 book
And now
next month.
we will study 108? Or
Correct.
108?
We're doing 108 in here, okay? And we'll take the 108 final. If you're in 108 and you pass 108, you'll just move to 109, okay? If you're 107 and you pass 108, you still got to go back next month. Does that make sense? Back next month. You'll if you're 107 now and you pass 108, then you'll be taking 107 next month. If you pass 107, guess what? Bink! You go to 109. Okay, so it all works out the same, really. Does that, everybody okay on that?
Yeah.
All right. So listen, let's take a look. What everybody wants to know is how do I get a decent grade in here? So look at this little sheet here. It's always the same at ELS. There's 100 points. Okay. The first category is participation. Yes, it's 25% of your grade. This is a big deal. We want you to show up. We want you to participate. Matter of fact, we think it's so important in the learning process that we give it 25%, okay, of the overall grade. So how do I grade participation? Here's the deal. I grade participation based on below average, average, and above average. Okay? Each week, I will give you a participation grade. What's below average? Here's below average. If you do the things I don't like. Here's what I don't like. It's easy. And
If I don't laugh?
Yeah, you gotta laugh at my jokes, all of my jokes. No, really, here's how it works in here. There's really 3 things I don't like. Cell phones, just stay off your cell phone, turn it off, okay? It really bothers me. I don't even like to see them out, okay? Because I don't know what you're doing on it in any way. I only get you for 2 hours, so we got to focus. So put your phone away, okay? If you have an emergency, all right, of course, raise your hand and go take the call. If you keep doing it regularly, it will bother me, okay? Here's the other thing. I expect you to be here on time, okay? It bothers me when you show up late, and I know I had some of you last month. It's really hard the first hour for you. But we got to figure this out, right? Be to my class on time. 3 lates, within the first 10 minutes you're late. 3 of those is an absence, okay? 6 absences, you're still okay. So on number 7, you're not okay. Matter of fact, it scares me when you miss 1 class. But if you miss 6, you're still in the safety zone, and then you miss 7 hours, you lose 25% of your grade automatically. Okay, it means you lose 25%. That means every homework grade you had, every participation every week that you had, it all goes away. It all goes to a 0. Okay? So just don't do that. So below average, you're on your phone. Below average, you're showing up late or absent. Okay? And when I say below average, I mean below an 80. So if I look at your record at the end of the week and I think about you, you were on your cell phone, you came in late, you missed a class, you might get a 60, 65, 70, okay? If you're there the whole time, you smile, you do your homework, that's an 80. Okay, that's average. You with me?
Yeah.
That's average. What's above average? Above average is... Yeah, maybe. I have given hundreds, not a lot, but I have. Above average to me, you're paying attention, you're doing your homework. I will ask you guys to come up, and each day I usually send you home with a little assignment to practice. I'll have you come up and lead the class in the homework, okay? If you can do that and you've done your homework and you actually know what you're talking about, That's all bumping you above average, okay? The other thing, I didn't do this last month with some of you that I had, but in this class I'm doing it. If you keep notes, okay, in a separate notebook, whenever I write stuff up here, all right, grammar spots, or we write example sentences, whatever goes up here that I write up here, if you put that in your notebook each day, at the end of the week, or even Monday of the next week, you got to come show it to me, okay? Show me your notebook. Listen, I'll be clear. Writing in your book doesn't count, okay? You need to get a special notebook, put a date, today's date, I won't skip today's, but today doesn't matter, right? Because I'm just telling you. But put a date at the top. Anything I write up there, you write it down. All right? You come show it to me at the end of the week. That's excellent work, okay? You're going to see your grade go up on the participation. Everybody with me?
Yes.
Homework. I will always write homework right here, and I'll tell you what I want you to do the next day. I don't grade it based on right and wrong. I grade it based on whether you did it. You tried to do it. Old friend. Okay. So just do your homework. There's no reason to show up with nothing done. Okay? Here's the other thing. Don't cheat yourself. Okay? I'm just going to trust you. The homework is for you. It's to help you learn the information. If you're just stealing someone else's book and copying answers, we have a word for that. You are a loser. Okay, here's why you're a loser. Seriously. The actual definition of loser is you don't win. Okay? You lose because you don't practice the information. Finally, you get to the test and you have no clue what you're doing. And you're going to fail the test anyway. Okay? So don't cheat. Okay? Just be honorable and just do your homework. Everybody okay?
Yeah.
All right. So that's participation. Is that clear? Is that clear? Okay. Show up, smile, do your homework, take notes.
And take a break.
Yeah, and take a break. You remind me. It's 2 minutes. You remind me though, okay? Because I just keep teaching. All right, real quick. We also have speaking evaluations. There's 2 of them, okay?
Yeah.
Here's the deal. There's 2. Now I want you guys to take a look. We have a new form for speaking evaluations. All right, this is a big change.
I don't have.
You don't have that either?
No.
Oh, man, you need a discount. All right. So listen, here's the new form, okay? You will notice on this piece of paper right here, this is the syllabus, I put it up here as well. It tells you when things are due. So next week on Thursday and Friday, we will have speaking evaluation 1. Week 3, you'll notice on week 3, Thursday, Friday, we'll have speaking evaluation 2. The way I do it, the way it's going to be done, and this is different, okay? It's different for me, it's going to be different for you, if you've had me. It's going to be an interview between 2 students. I'm going to hand you a sheet of paper with questions that you will ask the other student, okay? The other student will answer and respond to your questions. Then you're going to switch. The other guy is going to ask you questions from a sheet of paper. I'm going to record you.
You will give us a paper as a question?
Not ahead of time. You will get it the day that it's due. Okay? Because I want to evaluate your English, natural English. Okay? Not something you memorize.
Not preparing. Not preparing.
Well, listen, here's what I will tell you. I will go through like the day or 2 before in the book and I will show you different things that I might ask. Okay? Let me explain it just a little bit after the break. Take a 10-minute break and come back. Thank you.
Gracias.
All right. All right, hey, let's finish talking about the speaking evaluation real quick. I love this new form. I think it's super useful, and it's better for you guys too.
So this is like 107?
No, it's going to be, I mean, it's 108 because we're in the 108 bowl, okay? Listen, don't get, if you're what level are you?
107.
107? Don't get nervous, okay? The way that ELS created the books, they're like modules, okay? And it's not like it's going to be a lot harder to take step up one and go back. It all...
I have a question.
Yeah.
Like, is it hard to get like level 108 if I get 107?
No, I don't think so.
It's different grammars,
Yeah.
right?
It's different grammar. Remember, the final exam primarily focuses on the level you're in. Okay? So as long as you do well in this class, you should be fine on the final. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but there is no vocabulary from level 1 or 7 in the final?
Yeah, that's possible. It's possible some. It could be some.
Maybe in final exam give me from level 7.
Listen, it's a proficiency exam, so it's possible they can pull some information from 107, okay? But not most of it. And so the truth is, if you know the information in this class, in this book,
Yeah.
if you know it well,
Yeah.
okay, and you work hard, you should still be able to pass 108.
I think it's only 2 points and can't guess. So
Right. Here's the other thing. This is not an exit level.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember a couple of things. You don't want to fail the final, but even if you did fail the final, as long as you maintain a 1.0 in here and a 2.0 average, you're still going to move to the next level. Okay? So all of those things I say to say, just show up, work hard, and I think everybody in here is capable. Okay? At least people I've had before. I've had most of you before. I think all of you are smart. Okay? And you can do this. All right. Let's see here. All right, speaking of evaluations, let's talk about this a second. Listen, it's the exact same categories as before. It's always going to be an interview between two students. I'm going to sit and listen. I'm going to record you. Okay? It'll either be a video recording or it will be your voice. If it makes you nervous to be recorded on video, then I'll just record your voice so that I can go back and listen to it. Okay? And that way, if you disagree with something I say or whatever, no, I didn't say that, then we can go back and look at it. Okay? That's why I record it. The categories are the same. Again, small group or pair communication. That's why you're going to be talking with another student. So I'll be evaluating that. Responds appropriately. Okay? So listen, I'm grading the guy doing the talking. Okay? Which is the one answering the questions. Did you understand what the person was asking, and did you respond appropriately? Creates well-formed questions.
What does appropriately?
It means, so if I ask you how many monkeys are at the zoo, don't tell me how many tigers are at the zoo. So your answer, it answers the question I asked.
related to
Right.
it.
It's related to it. Creates well-formed questions to elicit details and clarification. So if you don't understand what the other person is asking you, then ask them what they mean by it. Ask them to explain what they're asking a little bit better. So do you have the ability to have a two-way conversation? Okay? Can perform SSP class speaking objectives. So at the beginning of each unit, there's some goals, right? And I'm always going to create the questions from the conversation or pair work in the book. Okay? So that'll help you as we do these speaking activities in class. Really focus and listen to the conversations people are having and the listening, because I will ask you questions related to the information in the book. Okay? But that's what will be on the questionnaire. Grammar. Uses clear sentences. Errors rarely interfere with meaning. Okay? Again, listen. You can look at it like tag mistakes are the big uglies. Word order, missing subject verb, okay? Punctuation, not punctuation. But those are, and I'm listening for verb tense, correct verb tense when you're talking. Those are the kinds of things I'm listening for. Uses all tenses and voice, that's passive, active, voice. Can hypothesize using conditional forms. So listen, you can talk about situations that might be true or untrue, okay, using conditionals. That's something we'll talk about in here. So I want to see that you can do that. Fluency. Fluency, look what it says. Ideas flow from one sentence to the next. Can produce lengthy sentences with digressions. What does that mean? It means you're using complete sentences and you're connecting your thoughts smoothly together. Okay? You're not having to stop and hesitate. You're using nice connection words, like first of all, I want to explain this to you. And then you explain something. So you use nice connection words, like first, second, cause and effect, because, right? Conditionals, all of those wonderful things you've been learning. Can sustain a discussion while synthesizing, that means bringing together and summarizing information. So listen, the two of you, whoever are talking, if you're the one answering, you can keep the conversation going, okay? So it shouldn't just be the guy asking a question and you say yes, right? You've got to talk and kind of keep the conversation going. That's part of fluency. Pronunciation, fully understandable. Can I understand the words you're saying? Okay? The sound of the words. Stress and intonation patterns do not interfere with communication. Do you know what that means? So in some languages, they don't use stress or intonation, which, okay, for example, we do this with words in English. So take the word banana, right? We say banana. We stress the middle. Some languages really don't do that. They just say banana. We say banana.
Banana.
Yeah.
Banana.
If you look in a dictionary, right, it tells you where the stress is with that little mark.
So you want from us to say it like you?
I want you to pronounce the words, and even in the sentences when you say them, and most of you this isn't a huge issue, but I got to be able to understand you. And if you're pronouncing things wrong, or you're putting stress on the wrong part of a word, you know, some words you can change a noun to a verb just by stressing the first or the last part. So anyway, I'm talking about your communication in English. If the way you're saying the words affects my ability to understand you, that's what this grade is. Okay? Vocabulary, let's look at that. Vocabulary is sufficient to provide support for your ideas, as well as express and defend opinions. So if you're interviewing someone, listen, a good interviewer might ask another question, right? Or if they say something interesting, ask them something else. And then you might need to defend what you said by giving support to it. You should tell a story about something that shows the point in your life, or this kind of a thing. And use good words. Okay? You shouldn't be repeating the same 2 or 3 phrases or words over and over again. I want to see that you have a deep reservoir of vocabulary. And I really love it if you use words in the book that we've gone over, or a phrase that we've learned. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Are you guys okay? So the way that the grading works, and I like this, I think it's easier to understand. It's just on a 100-point scale, okay? So above standard, if you got above standard on everything, you'd have 100. If you got standard, which is average, it would be an 80, wouldn't it? If you got below standard, it would be, I believe it'll be a 70, okay? Or a 69, it might be just below a 70. And then unsatisfactory is a 0. Probably what will happen is you'll have kind of a range. Everybody struggles with something a little bit, probably. But that's how that works, okay? Everybody okay?
Yeah.
All right. So that's the speaking evaluation. The first one is worth, I'm back here on the sheet here. The first one is worth 10 points. The second one is worth 15. A total of 25 points. All right. Quizzes. Listen, all my quizzes are the same. I usually try to get through a chapter, have a quiz. Get through a chapter, have a quiz. Okay? You'll notice on the little schedule that I gave you, I have us down for 3 quizzes.
3 quizzes.
Yep. There's 4 chapters in this book. Okay? So there's going to be a quiz 1. I have it on Tuesday. We'll see how far we get. Usually I give them on Mondays. Chapter 1 is a little longer in this book, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But I'll always tell you ahead of time what I'm going to do, okay? The quizzes are a total of 25% of your grade. And then and on the quizzes, listen, I'll always, like the day before, I'm going to say the same thing. I'll just say it once now. I'll always have exercises similar to the book, okay, over the grammar. And then also, I usually have a vocabulary section. I try to create quizzes that require you to produce English, write and use the grammar in a sentence, okay? And when I do that, they're usually worth 5 points apiece. And I'm looking, it's very clear, I'll have you like maybe create a conditional, okay? And I'm looking to see if the verb tense is right in both sides of the sentence. And I'm looking for good spelling, punctuation, and grammar. If you miss any of those things, I take a ½ point off, okay? So it is important to learn how to spell the words, use correct punctuation, and correct grammar in general. Everybody okay?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And then finally, the last thing on the OEC is the final exam. It's worth 25% of your grade. You guys already know this. I'll say it right now real quick. The final exam, it is 40% vocabulary, it's 20% grammar, and 40% listening. You know already what you struggle with probably. Most of the time students struggle with listening, okay, because it's random. We don't know what they're going to put on there, and they're just talking at a normal English pace. And you don't have a lot of time, okay? So, what I would do to practice your English, number one best thing, you have a disc that came with your book. It has all of the audio on it. You have a little let's see, do you have your stuff open? There's also, here, can I get that other one up there? So can I see that real quick? So you have the disc. It has a PDF of the text, and it also has another file on it with the audio on it, okay? Use it. We won't do all the audio in the book, probably, so I encourage you, anything that we might miss, to go back and make sure that you're listening to it and that you understand it.